Stuart,
Yes.
can you please talk about the differences and the relative benefits of meditating on our own versus meditating in a group or community like this?
There's no opposition. It's not versus. You do both. You need to learn to meditate on your own, independent. And at the same time, you come to these classes because there's so much energy in these classes that you could never conjure up that amount of energy on your own. So it's not meditating on your own versus meditating in a class. This is not a wrestling match here, It's both. Do both of them. And that one nurtures the other. So I don't know what the answer is not, this is not a contest. It's truly a way of doing two things that support each other. Unless you take it into your head that you make, I want my own independence. And then, look, I discovered many years ago, and I heard Rudy talk about real independence is learning to be dependent without being attached. I learned this a long time ago. We're dependent on everything. We're dependent on the farmers. We're dependent on the bakers. We're dependent on trucks. We're dependent on everything, airplanes. Everything in life is a dependency. But it doesn't mean we have to be attached to all these things. We just take advantage and use what is available in life because there's nothing that's in conflict with anything else. Everything, it's this and that and that and that. It's not this or that. It's not an either or situation. It's getting big enough inside oneself to include this and that and that and that. Otherwise, you create a kind of strange image in your own brain about, it's this or that or that. Life isn't that way. It's not me or you. It is me and you. There's a marriage here in a very wonderful way between myself and all of you that makes you work deep and I work deep. I also suggest always that people work on their own. You should sit down for at least a half hour every day and do your inner work on your own. And then each one of them supports the other. Otherwise, it becomes macho and feminist and all this stuff, gay and straight and this and that. Everybody's got a little clique that they belong to. And very few of these little independent cliques that, really bring anybody any happiness. You get happy by opening to all of life and life's teachings and the sacred nature of life and being all inclusive. You can learn from anybody, anything. So it's not meditating on your own versus meditating in it's not a good image. Take advantage of teachers, for God's sake. Their job is, not to be gurus. Their job is to help anyone who comes develop a chakra system that's strong enough so they can have their own independent connection with God. That's what Rudy did for me. Otherwise, it becomes cults and worshiping people, and I don't cotton to any of that. It's just nonsense, What's real is receiving the Shakti, the energy, the blessing, the power of a teacher who knows how to transmit that energy to help you build a system inside that will connect you with God. And that kind of a person, I would bow down and kiss their foot. I mean it. I have in the past. Kiss the foot of people like that. Sacred. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you.
Welcome. I mean, nothing here is in opposition to anything that's in your life. It'll just enrich your life because you will build a system inside that'll enable you to love whatever's in your life unconditionally. Without fear, trusting that life will teach you something essential. You don't have to hide out in some cave somewhere and not embrace life. Does anyone else have I have just a few announcements to make. The first one is, I might be bludgeoning you all over the heads with this, but I don't care because I'm enjoying this so much and it's getting better and better. And it's this thing I'm putting on my website, this Tantra, is 1 through 6 already. I have 2 more ready to go. And I think the last one especially was something, holy mackerel. I mean, I couldn't believe when I finished that thing, how powerful it was. And also, I hate to, congratulate myself, but it's fairly well written. But I would suggest going there and reading these things and, sharing them with friends and people. And, God knows it might really help somebody to understand what you do. And also, understand that maybe they need to do some deep spiritual practice as well. I mean, don't become like the Baptist of Kundalini yoga, It's not what I'm talking about. But, somebody who's interested, hey, read these, go on his website and read this stuff. I mean, it's really interesting. And I'm having a rocking good time writing these things. I really am. I never knew I could write like this. It's coming out on such a good level. The second thing is that I need to talk about. On Thursday, I'm going away from the 1st until the 18th. I'll be back on the 18th. And as I've said before, it's just I mean, look, I've been teaching this Zoom class now. It's over 2.5 years, almost nonstop, 7 classes a week, plus doing in-person classes. And I need to give myself a little break. I need to just go away and absorb the last 2.5 years and let it really become very deeply a part of my inner life. And when I come back, the classes are going to become even stronger and deeper. So I need to take a vacation. I'm going away. Not telling anybody really where I'm going to, and I just need to do that. So I'm going to be gone. The last class here will be on Wednesday. And I'll have a class in Europe and the Middle East on Thursday. If you want to attend, just email me and I'll send you an invitation. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, as I always end these classes, and deep gratitude for each and every person here. I mean, this is about transmitting unconditional love. There are no favorites. There's nobody more interesting than anybody else. Everybody is here because something deep inside them wants a spiritual life. And it's my job to transmit the Shakti, the energy, to help people do this. And I'm very grateful because, I have this little mantra I use sometime, and it's, to be a servant of God. And I think that to me is probably one of the highest positions you can attain on this planet. So God bless you all. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for attending these classes. And there'll be a class tomorrow evening, and hopefully I will see you all there. So bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Right, Stuart. Thank you very much.